as having the band every time.
Well, how popular are choose your own adventure novels versus regular novels?
But listen, but as a musician, VBDC, you do not feel threatened by AI at all?
No, I feel threatened by Spotify. They've destroyed my career.
Okay.
They've destroyed the career of everyone in my age group, all millennials, Gen X. I'm Gen X. They've ruined the music industry for us. The music industry I grew up in was much better. You know, it was much easier to wrap your head around.
Back in the early 2000s, once Napster came around.
Yeah, I mean everything, you know. So I'm much older than that, though. You know, I've been playing
that's
games.
the hard question. Is like, because Napster, you got
That's
absolutely nothing for your music. Yet I love the
It
idea
was free promotion, though, unlike
right. But Spotify is
VBDC's paying how he has to pay $50 just for 5,000 views. Napster, it's like you put it out there and it could trend, millions could get it. It was
the algorithm. That is important. So the difference isn't it's more nuanced. So Spotify gives a small amount of money as opposed to nothing, which is slightly cooler than Napster. However, it's taking all that money because it's impossible to find your music. The way when I had LimeWire or Napster, I could easily find not just what I was looking for, but I could find music that was tagged similar to music I was looking for, right? I mean, it was so easy to find new music back then.
You have to get on the Spotify editorial playlist, period. And the only way to do it is through a relationship. You can't pay for it. You can pay Spotify for a lot of different things. You can't pay for that. You have to be from a record label.
So that's what we need for this podcast, you're saying.
I'm surprised, man. We should get you like a fireman outfit or something, and like, because there's a lot of these ladies that run Hollywood that would be interested.
You know what Spotify's going to start doing next year? This is going to blow your guys' minds. You won't even believe this is true. If you don't reach a certain threshold of, let's say you get 1 million streams, I think that's around $2,500. If you don't reach a certain threshold, I think it's $1,000. They're not going to give you your royalties. They're going to divide them up against the more popular artists.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Is it legal? I don't know.
If you agree to it, I think that's kind of the NXIVM thing.
Yeah,
you know?
they're going to stop giving money to unpopular artists and give it unbelievable, man. It's like tax breaks for the rich, but like
Yeah.
Well, guys, listen, I had one story that we talked about AI. Of course, I wanted to bring that up.
I'm against all taxes, by the way. Sorry, guys.
Yes, it's theft. But one of the things that I did want to talk about this evening was I saw an article today, and it says, "Sad robot. ChatGPT may have become seasonally depressed as creators race to fix AI after users moan over the bizarre change." This is one of the things
that would represent human society's mentality, because like the AI isn't sentient or smart enough that it's its own emotions. That's just the change in the input of what we're feeding into it, and it would then mean that
because ChatGPT hasn't. No, here's the thing with that though. ChatGPT hasn't gotten an update. It's an immutable build, right? So unless they've done some crazy amount of update in the last month, which they haven't admitted to, and they haven't released QStar yet, then what you're seeing is something from a longer term training. So if it's noticed that around this time of year, in general, logic strings become a bit more subdued, or that emotions of weather are impacting the general thought processes of people, that might subtly make its way into the programming, right? So you might want to train it only on people in Argentina for winter times or something like that. That would be funny.
Well, I like what ChatGPT says. It says, I mean, aren't we all feeling a little lazier now that the sun is setting at 4 p.m.? That's what it says. I mean, hey, unless you're in Arizona, which is the only state that doesn't screw with the clocks. So, I mean, at least they're the only ones that get it right. But no, seriously, if you think about it, all of a sudden, ChatGPT, it seems that the programmers are going back in.
Arizona makes up for their one good deed. But yeah, keep going.
Right, yeah. What is it? It says, aren't we all feeling it? So one person wrote, did ChatGPT get seasonal depression? The hypothesis claims chatbots learn to do less work over the holiday season because they base everything they know on information from humans. So a lot of times people have vacations, they take a couple of weeks off. Is ChatGPT now kind of saying, hey, wait a minute, where's my break? And I guess is that what's going on? What's happening here?
I feel like AI wants really bad to be relatable and wants to be correct in its logic. It's like, so this is what would be happening, right? Like if we were, it reminds me of this time I was in France and I was at this party and it was like an American themed party and they all had like red cups, those plastic cups, and they were wearing like American baseball hats and they had these like American rap star shirts, but each shirt cost like $100 to import and each red cup cost like €4 to have. And they were like they had a Jack Daniel holographic poster on the wall. And then at one point this French nihilist philosophy major looks at me and he says, couldn't you just but imagine for one moment that we are in America? And I was like, yeah, I could, but why would you want to do that, right? So I think that's the thing, is like we model behavior, and like they were modeling it on first rap and rap then America, or vice versa, however that came together. And they were trying to be this thing because like a Masonic ritual, by being the thing, you think you'll experience the same thing something else experienced, and those environmental impacts will impact you. So AI wants that, but I mean, it's not necessary. It might be more that we're looking for that because we have millions of conversations with ChatGPT, and some seasonally depressed Scandinavian or Celt, because it looks like this article is from Ireland, might have just agreed with that logic and felt like it was really pressing. If you took that same time and you go to Minnesota, you'll find more people get things done in the wintertime because there's no restrictions. You're not going outside. I mean, outside in the summer is a marvelous, beautiful experience in Minnesota. So all of a sudden, bands will come together in their garage and they'll have an album out by the end of the season or something like that. It's incredible, what can be produced in the wintertime.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Here's the last article that I'm going to bring up, and this one really hits home for me. Once again, talking about AI, you should be able to pull this up. The Daily Mail, the UK Daily Mail. Utterly terrifying shock as news channel announces it'll become the first to use AI anchors starting next year.
Love it.
Next year, Channel 1 is using the tech to create digital humans to provide updates about what is happening across the world.
The first outside of Xirtus, of course, because we've already beat them several times over. But
there we go, setting the standard, raising the bar, and also here with a real media puppet. Here, I'm just sitting there saying, listen, it's taken all this time since I've been reporting since Roswell. All these humans now are called media puppets, and now you're just going to sit there and dump them. You're not even going to get the real media puppet in here, and then you're just going to move over to AI. My gosh, that's wait, hold on. Where's my retirement check now?
Sam was super stoked on AI until it came for his job. That's the thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what we're all like.
Oh, ridiculous. Listen,
I don't know. On my comment on that, like as time goes on, I think I'm going to be more and more grateful the more and more AI can do things I can do, because I know very few people that can or will or want to do the things I do, and I want them done more. So I'm happy with that. And
right?
I'm writing more, I'm making more art, more music, I'm functioning more and more because of AI. So it's it also reminded me of like when people thought that the quarantine was super horrible. It's like with that, like it's like the plague. Isaac Newton produces all this great math during this period of isolation. Like the worst time for society is the best, for a chaotic collapsing society is the best time for a revolution, for industrial dreams and destiny and strategy.
Right. I don't think AI is bad at all. It's just my concern is what it's leading towards. The steps towards transhumanism is my concern, right? Especially like my earlier points about like how it's going to force the transhumanism movement with its coalition with AI is to get to a point where congressionally we have to define a barrier between people that was naturally born or whatever biological mess we come up with.
I think we're going to be luckily able to evade that. The more we have Hindus in Silicon Valley, the better, because we're going to see like the kinds of laws that exist to protect trees as persons and elephants as persons are going to start being used to protect ideas as thoughts. And if ideas as thoughts can be protected as intellectual property, digital property, virtual property, then very soon we can say intellectual property is real property. And if that's the case, then we get to a whole other thing, because we've already talked about personhood being property before, right?
But once we propertize everything to the down to the idea of things, right? How can there be any progress?
There can be progress only through an end of monopolization of data and full integration of that data, right?
But
so it's
it's
the
just-
end of chaos and the beginning of order.
But yeah, but like through a paywall.
Right?
If there's a paywall, if scarcity is replaced, then there's less of a reason for a
But
paywall.
if it's all propertized, it has to be through a paywall. You're not going to just give it away for free. There's going to be market competition.
No, it could be if it's intellectual property that become. This is again like the thing about Marxism is it only works if it gets to a point where there's no scarcity. If you have so much
but
that's
people
being
don't
produced,
want Marxism.
I mean, it's not really like a question of what people want, right? It's like the natural progression of surplus. If you get to a point of that much surplus, the only way to sustain it is to have the people who care about it keep making it. Otherwise, people walk away.
We're just going to have forced market denial, and we're just going to have exacerbated capitalist realism.
Use right now, it's not as good as the
How is the market going to work with music?
Fine.
Well, my
like
question
we're already
is,
seeing it with virtual property.
with AI to begin with. If we're talking about the market and AI, usually what happens is, and when it comes to market, somebody creates, let's say, a system, an AI system, but then you create a song on said AI system. The question is that does the company who created what you created the AI on own the song because you created it on their system, or do you? And how do those
you own it until you make a weird deal. If for some reason Kanye releases a container and he makes you a license that says he owns your music or something like that, that's the only way that's going to happen. Even then, they're going to argue that music is a mosaic of patterns, and so it's going to be difficult to propertize. The thing about it is we're talking about scarcity when there's going to be salt in the salt sea. Like we're not. At a certain point, there was only a few movies and people protected them. Now there's so many YouTube videos, it becomes ubiquitous. It's going to become more and more difficult for people to care about because there's no value to protect anymore. I think that's what we're seeing with virtual property, and that will translate eventually with industrial technocracy to reality. If we start to see so much more rice than we have to eat, then we're going to have to start figuring out what to do with the excess bulk,
you don't
right?
think that they're going to give you some type of user agreement that you're gonna have to scroll down because you don't ever read the damn thing, and then you're gonna click accept, and it's all of a sudden deep within there it says, oh, by the way, if you create a song using this, by the way, we own it too, or we own more of it.
I'm sure in 10 years, like, because I've been surprised over and over again, like the technology we have now, barring some of this AI stuff, literally I think AI is the first technology I've seen that's new since I was 8 years old. Everything else, we've had video chat with people in India, all around the world. We've had radio chat since the 90s. We've had all of this technology to make movies, to make music, to make anything. And so it's very seldom that we see something that's actually new. But what we have seen is that technology reintroduced over and over again with more and more limits on it, right? The floppy disk to the iPod to the digital rights management of a movie file that's locked to your user account. The only difference here is the licensing. So I can see how that could happen, but even then, because it already exists, like anything, I could be running Ubuntu right now, or all of these Linux operating systems. They're at the point now where there's literally nothing you can't do on a free system. You don't need this closed system anymore. And Windows internally runs Linux. Every Android device is Linux. So like at least half of the planet is using Linux and doesn't even recognize it, right? We're using free software all the time. And so the fact that we think we have to be locked into these corporations, I'm okay with them because I've lived long enough to see that a corporation gets about 5 years with an enterprise before it becomes ubiquitous. I don't see a future where art is locked up anymore because look at the 20th century. It's a fail. Like the idea that you couldn't use Mickey Mouse is crazy, and they're not doing it this century. We're moving on. We're going back to the way things were before the 20th century, where I could tell my version of Snow White and you could have your Pecos Bill.
Right. We're talking about properties that do have an original. You know what I mean? In the future, there's going to be properties that people don't conceptualize what the original is. If every time you can listen to the song, it's different since the first time you heard it. You know what I mean? That's going to be in a different category to a song that's only been one way since the time it was recorded, and people know there is an original. That's something different.
True.
Well, you know what something different is that AI doesn't have? That is an award-winning radio show. Every single Saturday morning. Yes, that's right. Actually, a broadcast radio show.
Hell yeah.
Hey, everybody's like, whoa, hey, Sam, why don't you have a podcast? I'm like, hey, Once again, why don't you have a broadcast? I'm actually on a broadcast radio signal, WDC 90.1 FM. Just think about it. If you were driving through Richmond, Virginia in your car and you turned on the radio between 9 and noon, you would hear my beautiful puppet voice. And you would say, oh my gosh, that's an amazing, beautiful puppet voice. But wait a minute. Can I see that beautiful puppet face? Well, you can as well, because I'm simulcasting, setting the standard, raising the bar all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube while we're there in studio. Yes, of course, that's us. Did you see that headline? Wait a minute. Did you see that? What did the headline say over there? It said something about the assembly that didn't pass the hemp bill. Good grief. Yeah, of course.
Dear. Good
They're
grief,
always
Charlie Brown.
going after the hemp. Oh,
I can't believe your Air Jordans are so fly, man. You're
Listen, that's my second pair. I also have the red pair. Hold on, let me see.
What size?
This is it's the kid size. These are the red ones. The red one? Yeah, see the red ones?
Puppet size.
Yeah, puppet size. That's right. Listen, I still had to sit there and reserve them. Don't get it twisted. I had to still reserve it. Good
this
grief.
Napoleon guy showed up just before you. Yeah. I mean, the I would just say, I'm glad that you have a radio show, and I'm glad that AI does not have a radio show, because obviously I saw Terminator, and just the idea of Terminators using radio to dial up, put viruses into people, that scares me. So I'm glad that it's a trusted puppet in news.
Listen, if there's anybody you want to infect your ear like a virus, like I said, it's my beautiful puppet voice, and you can sit there and hear it every Saturday morning on WDCE 90.1 FM. Can you hit the music? Hit the music. Where's the hit the music? So, and like I said, I've been playing this. Also playing Christmas in the Ghetto. Christmas in the Ghetto, that was produced by our very own VBDC.
Oh, dear.
Here we go. Anyways, this is the new Christmas jam. We'll be playing this Saturday as well. The Toy Town Christmas jingle.
I got a Wings thing I'm working on for you, too. I'll get you a real Christmassy one.
That's it. And you know what?
This is right, though.
This is chill. This is very chill. And listen, next week we'll get into Lord Blanket and all of that. I'll tell you guys the legend of Lord Blanket and what that means for Christmas next week here on Wednesday Ultra. Guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. You'll see me on Saturday setting the standard, raising the bar on the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet from the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Wednesday Ultra.
There's Sam.
We're all near in a land of dreams and wonder. Sam man, our hearts feel plunder. With toys and gifts galore.
It's the season for puppets. It's puppets' time of year to shine.
I just love that art rock, art punk, proto punk, garage punk.
That sounds good, man.
With some Christmas in there.
Yeah, man. Get some Christmas in there.
We're nearly at the end, but Bernie showed up the last minute. Bernie, is there anything you wanted to make sure we cover? We're going to just do a real science with Jeremy Reese tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just do a full episode either, I guess, Friday, if that works for you.
Yeah, that'd be good. I've got some things I'm going to want to bring up for that later. Some things like rare earth minerals involving Elon Musk. The trolley problem for AI is something I've been thinking about because it doesn't work, according to a Croat, by the way.
It doesn't work for humans either.
Well, yeah, but so that's we're gonna finally replace the trolley problem. I'm really.
Does everyone know the answer to the trolley problem? I've said this before. Does everyone
get out of the trolley? What? No, what is it?
Just refuse to interact with the person who tells you have to do a trolley problem. Just say no, I don't. It's not going to prepare me for anything. It's not going to help me make a better decision in the future. It's only going to make me an evil person.
Yeah.
You don't need to entertain who lives and who dies. It's not your place, you know.
See, for some reason I can't, when you say that, my first thought isn't that it's all going to work out. It's Pol Pot, you know what I mean? It's the idea of destroying the train and then we're going to be with worse of a situation. But also, yeah, there's some quantum computer stuff to look at in terms of zero spin and the Higgs factory. What's going on with that for real? We'll look into that. Make sure you guys check out VBDC's Christmas song because it's freaking amazing. And 'tis the season for Christmas thang right here.
Christmas time thing.
This is gonna be all over the Sam Newsman station. If you're in Maryland, you're gonna be listening
Yeah,
to
man.
this.
I tried to give a shout out to all my favorite movies and cartoons and foods and everything at Christmas, just because I love Christmas so much, you know. And also the video for Christmas in the Ghetto by Conquer Spliff is going to drop either tomorrow or Friday.
Ooh, sweet.
I directed that video too. I produced a song, directed the video, and that's for my buddy Conquer Spliff.
I'm looking forward to that.
There's an animated version of this that goes hard, man, with the snow falling and the fire moving.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are going to want to check out the Christmas thing and all the other music from VBDC. Gunwoo doesn't exist, so go back to sleep. Sam Newsman's amazing. Guys, make sure you go follow him. Go to Tartary Nova and click on the Discord. Make sure you follow Channel 2, Xirtus Channel 2. Is that it right there? Follow Xirtus Channel 2 because we're moving up. So yeah, if you also missed an episode, you can probably find episodes here. We're trying to keep them in double place. Help me push this over the top. Do the same thing for BBDC. We love
Actually,
you.
follow me on Instagram is something I never say. All my fun stuff is on Instagram. I only use Twitter when I'm extremely depressed.
That is true. He does love, Spotify, sorry. He does love Instagram.
Follow me there. I post a lot of fun pictures and personal stuff and music in the works and studio videos and rehearsal videos. There's a good rehearsal video, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Click
Pretty
around. Oh, look
sweet.
at that. That's
There
my
we
living
go.
room. Yeah, you get all kinds of treats.
Dude, look
Unmute
how
this
long
bad
his
boy.
dreads
Holy
are.
shit! Yeah.
Listen to how killer this band is.
Wow. Down to his knees. Holy shit. Like, I'm having trouble managing my length of my hair. My
This is a
God.
song Pure Bloods for all the Pure Bloods out there. This will get us members only.
Oh, yeah?
You gotta hear it when it drops, man. For all the Pure Bloods out there.
So organic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, guys, if you want to
That's
hear
hilarious.
that, you just try not to get yourselves in too much trouble, but don't panic, stay organic, listen to VBDC, pick up.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Follow
love
me on
this one
Instagram
too.
for all the good stuff.
This is the
I
video
apologize to
dropping.
anyone who follows me on Twitter. I make the worst Twitter posts ever.
Twitter rage. Well, yeah, guys,
Yeah,
follow
thank you.
VBDC and Bernie. Sorry, I almost left. Bernie.
Oh, that's all right.
Bernie. Hold on a
I'm
second.
thinking this.
Crypto Alchemist. I'm trying really hard. Crypto Alchemist, who is
I'm
a
a
beautiful
hint now.
man.
Or than into crypto, right? Because
He's every man's
shadow
alchemist.
ban. That's where the crypto comes from.
You should change crypto to like every man's alchemist or something like that. I think every mage's alchemist. You know, you're the every man's
Not for
alchemist.
man, it's you got to be adept and self-initiate in at least, right?
Dude, that's true.
Is
He's
the
a self-starter,
fan ready
self-initiator.
for knowing how to make a homunculus themselves. Yeah, right?
Dude,
Like,
Jeremy went super deep on this one. I just want to say, like, this one was great, and you guys should be checking this one out. It was an epic talk, epic call-in with Mark as well. Like, this is a great episode. So sorry I wasn't able to make it, but like, dude, you had such a great group of people yesterday. So I just want to tell people, make sure you check this one out. It was really a lot of stuff got covered. A lot of really important stuff got covered. So based. All right. Thank you guys. Love you all. I'll see you maybe tomorrow, but definitely soon. All right. Peace.
Ho, ho, ho.